Welcome back to another episode with After Blue. We know that we talk about learning coding with mobile phone. So the last video I spoke about the tools needed, which is JSFiddle.net, and I spoke briefly on front end, that's HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And I also said talk about roadmap.sh. So, like I always say, and our motto in After Blue is start from where you are with what you have. Nobody's coming to save you. Stop giving excuses. So, to not waste much of our time, today we are going to look at Java versus JavaScript, the differences briefly. Then I'll also show you the roadmap.sh. So what I would like you to have when you're watching this video is we are going to use this website, MDN Docs website from now on. Then JSFiddle.net is going to be our IDE. That is where we are going to be doing our testing and running our code with mobile phone. So, and finally, we're going to talk about HTML and CSS and why we need it before moving to JavaScript. Remember, the goal is to end up with JavaScript. So let's go to our browser straight without wasting much time. So now we're here. So the first goal, like we said, was let's go to our roadmap.sh. So this is our roadmap.sh, which is going to give us a direction, so we'll not just be beating around the bush. So as it is, we are still on this first place, that is introduction to JavaScript. That's what we are still on. So what we are going to be using now for this introduction to JavaScript, according to the map, we're going to be using MDN Docs. Don't worry, I'm going to drop the link in the description. Don't be bothered about that. So now the first thing on the task, as we said, was Java versus JavaScript. Java versus JavaScript. So we have to explain the differences so you will not be confused. Now this is MDN Web Docs. This is just a platform for learning. So like I said, we are both learning it together. It's not like I'm an expert, but I'm just sharing my learning process with you. So if you're a beginner, so talking about Java versus JavaScript or JavaScript versus Java. Now it is stated here, do not confuse JavaScript with Java because they are two different programming languages. JavaScript is not interpreted Java. They are both two different programming languages, as I've said before, and they have completely different syntax, and the way they are written are completely different. You understand? So, for example, if you have heard of other programming languages like Python, C#, C++, and so on and so forth like that, it's just like saying JavaScript and Python are the same. They are completely different. But this is a beginner focused teaching, and we are all learning together. So I think we've done that task. So the next one now is to go to the next thing of the day, HTML and CSS, and why we need to learn before moving to JavaScript. Yes, the reason why we are learning HTML and CSS before we go to JavaScript is because you will need to see what we are doing. For example, like I explained in the previous videos, I said when you have a toy, JavaScript is like the brain. You understand? JavaScript is like the brain. So what I mean by that is when like we humans now, we have a brain, but you can't really know what the brain does when there's no body. So the HTML is like the internal skeleton, and the CSS is the design of our human body, like our skin, complexion, and all that. So you need those to be able to kind of see what the brain is functioning and doing. So that's just all it is about. Don't know if that makes sense to you. So yes, now let's just go straight to the next thing. I don't want to waste time. So we are starting today. There's no need to beat around the bush. Too much talk won't solve any problem. So the next thing we are going to do now is going to the next website creation directly. Let's start with HTML. So the first thing, according to the tutorials here, when you want to build your first website, remember our goal is the JavaScript, but let's just start with HTML. It says what will your website look like? Before you start writing code for your website, you should plan it first. I think you can plan that one personally, or we'll do it together, but for now, let's just start with the HTML directly so that we can get our hands dirty, like I always preach. So this is it now. Next, please. This is for you when you want to plan, but we'll come back here. For now, I want us to just start the HTML directly. You understand? So this is, hold on, this is not what I want to do. Exactly. So HTML, hypertext markup language, the code that is used to structure a web page and its content. For example, content should be structured within a set of paragraphs, a list of bulleted points, or using images and data structure. Now, like I said, HTML is like the skeleton of web. It is the structure, you understand? For example, we in our human body also, it's just like the web development or websites. So our skeleton is the HTML in this case because it's the structure of the whole body. You understand? So the prerequisite for this is just basic familiarity with computer system. You understand? So you see that you don't have to have a special knowledge or whatever. And for you to understand what I'm saying, you're a genius. You can do this. We will do it, whether we like it or not. So next thing is, let's just go straight. So if we want to start with the HTML, we need to understand some terms and things, not complex, very simple. So they said HTML consists of a series of elements. We will understand what element is, so don't be feeling pressured yet or not, or start feeling kind of way. This video won't be too long, so don't be afraid. We'll write the first code today and we'll see what it does. So it says HTML contains a series of elements which is used to enclose or wrap different parts of the content to make it appear a certain way or act a certain way. Now, whenever you see something on this website, I would advise you don't skip it. For example, now they said something like elements. Let's click it and see what it's saying when they mean by elements. Now, an element is a part of a web page. For example, now if you see the image here, it's telling you that this is an element that contains data. You understand? This is an element. We are going to do all these things. We are going to experiment it. Don't worry. We are going to experiment everything. So let's go back. Now, it says enclosing tags can contain a word or somewhere. Yeah, but let's just start the code. If you wanted the line stamp by itself, we can specify that it's paragraph, enclosing it in paragraph terms. So this is the first code we are going to write now. You understand? So let's go to. So without wasting much of our time, now we are at the website JSFiddle.net. Like, it's part of what I requested that we have. Remember, it's part of it. So the tools needed, see it's JSFiddle.net. This is it, it's there. So now we are there. So this is an ID. That's where we write our code so that we can see what is happening. You understand? That's just what we are doing here. So if we come here and click the HTML now, let's go to what would they say we should press. If you notice, we asked to put something like open. Can you see this? Less than sign, P greater than sign. Now if you notice, my cat is very grumpy. It was written there, less than sign, then backward slash, P and forward greater than sign. Now we are trying to understand what they said. So according to what they wrote on, they say if you wanted the line to stand by itself, we could specify that it is a paragraph by enclosing it in paragraph tags. So obviously what they mean is this signs here, this P, you understand, is a tag. So before let's just go and type it at that place and see what they are talking about. So we are here now. So if you notice, you can see the platform, you see something like HTML. This part here is for all your HTML codes, you understand, your CSS parts for your CSS codes, and your JavaScript parts for your JavaScript codes. So your console here, you see the way I'm zooming in and out, you can use your 2 fingers to pinch in and out. That's just what you do. So your console here is where to display your results. So I will advise you sign in. I will sign in the next video, but this one I'm supposed to be signing. I don't know how I'm signed out, but I don't want to waste much of our time. You understand? Let's just do something. So now from what I saw there, you have to press what? Less than, right? P greater than. What was the text that we were asked to put? My cat is very grumpy. So let's do that. My cat is very grumpy, right? So we less than sign. Remember it was backward slash, right? And greater than. P and greater than, right? So let's run it and see what it will give us. Right. Can you see the display here? So obviously displayed my cat is very grumpy. So that just shows you've written your first programming, your first code. My cat is very grumpy. So we are going to go more from there. I don't want to make this thing too much, so I'll stop there today. If you have any comments or suggestions, or you understand, for those of you that are advanced, you can just drop it in the comment section. So I'll see you tomorrow and we'll continue from there. So now we started coding directly. It's getting interesting. Enough of all the talk and explanation. We will learn as we go. So yeah, so this is after blue. If you are just joining us, where we learn with mobile phone. You understand, we learn with mobile phone. So see you next time. Bye bye.